Hello there. My name is Lynn Jocelyn. I'm a functional medicine physician assistant, and I have a small micro practice in Durango, Colorado, integrated spectrum of health. And it's my mission to empower people to heal and so that they can embody their birthright of vitality, connection, and joy, and wake up every day to do what lights them up. And part of my passion is community, both in my patients, our greater community, and really collaborating with other healthcare practitioners, healers, is so important for us, both for us to be healers, but also for us to stay healthy so that we can continue to show up for people in the healing space. And I'm super excited today to have a dear friend, Carla Marie Toth, and I think she just goes by Carla, but I like to call her Carla Marie sometimes because I have the same middle name. And Carla, I know personally, who has been very important in my healing journey through acupuncture. I know her as a dear friend and personal work together, and we share our love of dogs, which is so near and dear to my heart. So I would love, let's just start with Carla, if you want to just start by introducing yourself, your practice. One thing I know is you do really beautiful different modalities of practice. And your practice is changing and growing. And I also think, I know we also have the love of community for our patients. So yeah, just share a bit about what you're doing, what you have going on.
Well, I call it a practitioner of Chinese medicine. Technically, it's a licensed acupuncturist in the United States. However, we're trained in Chinese medicine, which is very encompassing. So acupuncture, herbal medicine, Chinese herbal medicine, Qigong, cupping, gua sha, dietary therapy. So I'm a Chinese nutritionist, lifestyle therapy, and with all those modalities that I've been using for 19 years as a practicing licensed acupuncturist and many, all the years of training, I've forayed into Qigong workshops, Qigong classes, and I created a 9-week online class called Core Principles of Vibrant Health, Optimize Your Spiritual, Emotional, and Physical Well-Being, where I use a mixture of Chinese medical theory with a lot of information, how Western studies are catching up with this 5,000-year-old medicine, and then a lot of breath work and exercises so that people can take charge of their health. So we're very much on the same page here. We want to really empower people. I love acupuncture. I'm going to do acupuncture the rest of my life, but I want to empower people. Like, this is a team project. It's not a magic. Acupuncture is amazing, but it's not a magic bullet. And here's a myriad of modalities to help each person take charge of their wellness.
That is beautiful. And it is, your offering is very full spectrum. You are tapping into so many different layers. And I try to tell people it's like a spokes in a bike, right? We need so many of those spokes. And it's not typically, I don't like to use what's never, but it's almost never just one. And so your offering is brilliant. I've been fortunate to get a bit of your Qigong, and that's really beautiful. I think you have a class coming up is that happening in February or?
Yes, I have a Qigong and breathwork workshop on the 19th.
Excellent.
So February 19th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. if this goes public before then.
Yes.
Online, and we're going to talk about breath work, talk about what is a meridian and why it's so important to keep your meridians healthy. The meridian clock in Chinese medicine, when it's optimal to do certain exercises and to eat meals, and when to relax, when to meditate according to the organ clock, and then do a Qigong practice that covers unblocking and energizing all the 12 acupuncture meridians.
So cool. Yeah, I think this will go well. Regardless, do you still have space for your
Yes.
class on the 19th? Okay, so I'll share it with my members for sure, and this will go live, and I'll share it with my members. So that, who knows, that would be really wonderful. And I mean, Chinese medicine is fascinating, just fascinating, and it works. It definitely has been a big part of my healing journey. So Carla, how did you make your way to this this type of healing? What was your catalyst? I think I know your story, but if you're open to sharing, I think it's profound and really impactful for people.
Yeah. When in the 1995, I was in the Peace Corps in Panama, and I slid down a muddy mountain and tore the ligaments in my left wrist. I went to orthopedic doctors in Panama who put me on high doses of Motrin, which ripped up my stomach, but didn't really help my swelling at all. And I didn't use my left hand for 2 years. When I got back to the States in 1997, I went to orthopedic doc, and he told me, well, you just go on these anti-inflammatories. I said, no, that won't help me. This is what happened. And he said, learn to live with the pain. I was 30 years old at the time.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's a ridiculous option.
Yeah.
Learn to live with the pain.
It's not an option. Well, I mean, I guess it is an option, but it's not one that I hope people choose.
Yeah, it wasn't an option that I was willing to embrace. A friend of my mother's referred me to her acupuncturist, who had helped her heal a serious knee injury. And it took a long while. The pain in my wrist was gone after 6 treatments. It took 9 months of treatments to heal the ligament completely. But I knew it was healed because I became a massage therapist. I waited tables, so carrying those trays with, full of drinks, doing deep, not super deep, but deep massage. And it was fine.
That is so phenomenal. So you had 2 years before you came back to the States, right? Getting treated with anti-inflammatories and things, and then came and saw another. So, and then within 6 + 9, 15 months, you had 6 months, no pain, and then another 9 months, right?
Six treatments, no pain.
6 treatments only. Oh my goodness. See,
yeah, because I had just a resting ache all the time. So I would just be sitting here talking to you and my wrist would be aching. But after 6 treatments, I had no pain at rest, right? I still had pain with use, but no pain at rest. But it took 9 months of treatments to.
That's phenomenal. So then so what happened next? Like, did you say, I'm going to acupuncture school, or what was your?
Well, the universe works in mysterious ways. I had entered the Peace Corps because I was looking for a career change and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And Peace Corps had been something that was very intriguing and inspiring, but I didn't go into the Peace Corps right out of college because I had a serious boyfriend and he wasn't interested, and I was more interested than him than what I wanted at the time. But I was disillusioned with the work I was doing, and he and I got in a big fight one day, and I'm going in the Peace Corps.
Beautiful.
I'm going to go find myself in the Peace Corps.
I love it.
And the Peace Corps was amazing. I was really well prepared by many people, 10 different people that were returned Peace Corps volunteers, and they said, don't go looking to complete a project. Go and experience the culture. Go have an amazing cultural experience and you will love it. If you go trying to get a job done, you'll be miserable. And it was amazing. Panamanian culture, just the most open, generous, open-hearted, community-centered people. They all take care of each other. And it was amazing. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. It really opened my eyes to different ways of being in the world. And just that I wanted to bring home so much of their culture. Part of the culture I didn't like, part of United States culture I liked more. So I got to do a melding, but I didn't have that epiphany of, oh, this is what I want to do, right? So, but it did start the emotional healing journey that I had, my being was craving.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think if the universe works in mysterious ways, maybe I fell down the mountain so that when I got home,
Right. I mean,
it led to
right.
Chinese medicine.
It's pretty powerful. And I think it goes back to that idea of that symptoms that we're having, manifestations in the body, are telling us something. And it can be from all sorts of reasons and things, but it's, yeah, putting that positive spin is important, is important on that.
So I'm back in the United States and getting my acupuncture, but I'm really fascinated by the medicine. I'm in love with the medicine, but there was a fear component of, oh, I'm really a shy person. I'm very introverted. I don't know that I could be a practitioner. And then again, I'd be walking down the street and I'd run into a friend of mine, someone I knew, and then, oh, I just coming back from my acupuncturist, or meeting people at cafes. It's all about going to cafes and drinking lattes back then. And hi, my name's Carla. Nice to meet you. Oh, hi, I'm so-and-so. And yeah, I'm going to acupuncture school. I turn on the TV and someone would be getting an acupuncture treatment. I'm like, okay, I think I'm supposed to check out acupuncture.
I hear you.
So,
that's wonderful.
So that's how I got drawn into that part of it. And if you want me to go deeper into the emotional spiritual healing part,
yeah,
I'm welcome
I
to
think
do that.
yeah, I'd love to. I think it's really people's personal stories of how they how they choose their passions and follow their passions is really, super important to be heard, and very motivating and inspiring.
Well, I was in love with I've been a practicing acupuncturist. Well, part of Chinese medicine is healing the body, mind, and spirit. They don't delineate like Western culture. Well, it doesn't so much. They're really starting to see that we're one being. We're not like, oh, that's all in your head, or how Western doctors used to say that. They're really seeing like, we're one. We're body, mind, and spirit. And but I was ignoring the mind and spirit part. I was just focusing on the body part. Mm-hmm. And I was afraid to look at my own stuff, my own like traumas, my own sense of unworthiness, my own sense of unlivability. And it's these things that so many of us carry with us just from conditioning and the people in our life who just don't know better, right?
It's our life experiences, right? For sure.
Yeah. And so the first 6 years of my practice, I was just focusing on body, and never really looking to work on my own issues, and never really helping people who needed a deeper emotional part of healing. That's another side topic. Very often I'll hit a plateau with people and we just can't get that last 10%. And it's usually kind of an emotional block, a spiritual block, right? Something, old childhood traumas that are wired in their brains, which then get wired in their physiology. And when they can go about healing those, then they can heal 100%. So I'll segue back.
Yes.
So I'd been working as an acupuncturist for 6 years, and then one summer I started spiraling into this really deep depression, and getting very with time. I started becoming really irrational, and I was doing acupuncture and herbs and exercising, and it wasn't helping. And people would say little things to me, and I'd just start crying. And then one fateful day, I was supposed to go to a business networking meeting, and I wasn't going to go because I was just too depressed. And at the very last minute, I just went, and I had an aneurysm rupture while I was in the meeting. And that was my, the way the way the universe works in these mysterious ways. If I had stayed home, I wouldn't be alive today. And I knew that, like, from the minute I remember being conscious again a week later in the hospital, I was like, I guess I wasn't supposed to die. I just, it was that inner knowing of it's time to heal me on a deeper level, that emotional, spiritual, and body level, so that I can be truly healthy and really share the gifts that I came to this earth to share, which is, you know, deep healing for people who are ready to heal. So I started my deep dive, which is where we met in that transformational workshop, and I'm still, you know, we work on it our whole lives, you know, until we reach our Dalai Lama state, and then we get to transition. Right?
It's a lifelong process for sure. And
Right.
we've had many conversations for sure on this, but that is a really powerful story. And, you know, a near-death experience that catapulted you back to life, so to speak, right? From that deeper spiraling and that depression that you were feeling at that time. What could you offer to people? Like, I feel like right now, I mean, always, but it feels like even there's a heaviness for a lot of people right now. And there's a lot of depression and anxiety, maybe some of the isolation, the pandemic, maybe where we are and just time of the universe and the world. Um, but from your experience, and then you know, that was what, 10, 11 years ago?
12 years ago.
12. Oh my goodness. Okay. Um, so you know, from that near-death experience, being in a depression before that, and then doing, you know, continuing to work, getting deeper into your own healing practice, both personally and professionally, what words of wisdom can you share from your experience?
It's more important than ever, I feel right now, to really nurture what your heart desires, what your soul desires.
I just got the chills.
And
That's, yeah.
yeah, that's, there's many layers to it, but we all come here. My belief system is we all come here for soul healing, but we also come with gifts to share with the world. And the world's at this crazy point, and we can either kind of go down with the sinking ship, right, and just wallow in our fears and our anger and our depression and our opinionated or, you know, judgments, or we can start responding from our hearts and living by our hearts, and learning to listen to your heart and your gut. The heart and the gut are never wrong, right?
So profound.
The
Responding with
mind,
your
the
heart.
mind can get caught up in fear. And I'm not saying the mind is wrong, but it can get caught up in fear. But the heart and the gut they always have the right answer for what you need in that moment.
Mhm, mhm.
And it can change moment to moment. But if you, when someone learns how to listen, they're always going to get what they need or be led to what they need. So in this time, I'm meditating more, I'm doing more and I went through a period of depression last fall, and it's just no energy, and I was like, oh, I'll just treat my, you know, my chi deficiency, and why isn't this working? I was like, oh, I'm depressed. I've been housebound.
Yeah.
You know, business is slow. I've been housebound. Like, you know, there was one of the flare-ups of the Delta variant, so I was home alone all the time. And once I realized, oh, it's just a little bit of depression, and gave myself some herbs and some acupuncture, made sure I was getting an extra half hour of hiking in every day, shifted. But because I had to sit and listen to what I really needed instead of what I thought.
Mm.
And
So do you feel like that's a daily, lifelong practice, right? Of listening, and then, and I just have to say it again because it was beautiful. What you said, responding from the heart. It is that simple and that complicated, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, and probably the brain, I don't know. Do you think that complicates us responding from the heart if we just, it's just
It can.
interesting. We're interesting beings.
We're interesting beings. In my course, my 9-week course, the core principles, I do talk about neuroplasticity.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That is just,
right. It's just,
so the 9-week course, when do you start your next one? Where are you in one?
Yeah, I have to come up with a date. I was going
Okay.
to try and start it in March, but I'm so busy with film festival right now. There's no time to market it. So
Yep.
I will let you know once I come up with a date.
Yeah,
the
for
perfect
sure.
date.
I mean, I think, one of the things so much, of course, what you're saying, I resonate with, but the neuroplasticity, the limbic system, and I just think if we could start there, and people could do that limbic system retraining or repatterning the brain pathways and patterns, the physical modalities of the healing would be less. Whereas so often in many, even functional integrative medicine, we start diet, nutrition, exercise, sleep, relaxation, all those. Yes, we talk a bit about it, and then we add that on. I want to reverse that because I think that could be really profound. So, Toth, would you talk a little bit about your Qigong and how that's integrated into the whole picture, but specifically a bit about the Qigong, because I'm fascinated about that. Do you want me to be
Qigong.
more specific?
Well, yeah, because I do the Qigong energy healing, and then I also do the Qigong moving.
Yes. So what's the
Moving
difference
exercise.
of those two?
Well, I'll talk about the similarities. So
Okay.
Qigong, Qi is your energy, your life force, and Gong is movement or work. Right?
Okay.
So Qigong is moving energy, working with energy.
Beautiful.
So a lot of people, I've seen people doing Tai Chi or gentle move like Falun Gong. A lot of people know about that. It's a type of Qigong that's been made illegal in China, and people go to jail if they do this type of Qigong. I mean, there's many different styles of Qigong, but it tends to be gentle movements with breath work and intention, designed to work on unblocking any blockages of Qi, build healthy Qi, expel anything that's toxic to the body, not imbalance to the body, and to put someone in a state of vibrant wellness, right? A state of balance, right? So there's also energy work, Qigong, which is a breath. So many people know of Reiki, right?
Okay.
Right. Reiki is an energy work. You're channeling energy. The type of Qigong I do, Qigong energy work that I do, is I feel blockages in people's bodies. So move out the blockage, feel the space. Like if you're emptying something, you want to fill it with Qi. You want to fill it with healthy Qi and make sure everything's moving, right? So when Qi is flowing smoothly throughout all the body's in a state of balance, which is a state of wellness.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so complementary. Well, I mean, it can stand alone, and it is so complementary to so many modalities of healing. I think it's that, well, and I guess, gosh, you already said it. It breaks you through that last 10%, perhaps, maybe that piece. I mean, I know some of that is trauma healing and the sort of old stuck stuff healing, but can you get there with Qigong as well by that movement?
Let me tell you what, another one of my, I love stories. Before I found Chinese medicine, I used to have menstrual cramps so bad, I really wanted to die that first day of my cycle. On a scale of 1 to 10, 150, right? So it was so intense and so horrible. I couldn't get out of bed. And my blood pressure would drop and cold sweats and vomiting, all from the pain. When I found Chinese medicine, when I started getting acupuncture and doing herbs, the pain level came down to a 4 out of 10. Sweet, I can live with that.
Yeah.
When I started doing a daily Qigong practice, and this was a couple years after I had graduated and started my own acupuncture practice, because I just didn't have enough time to start something new in my life.
Right.
The story we all tell ourselves.
Well, sometimes, I mean, you're doing a lot.
After doing Qigong for like 3 or 4 months, I never had a menstrual cramp ever again.
Profound.
Ever.
And this was a
Yeah.
home practice you were doing?
Just a home practice. Yeah.
That
It's
is
45
so,
minutes every morning.
so powerful. So
Right.
powerful.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is so much out there to support people and to heal. And so I want to we're getting a little bit close, but I want to share a little bit of time about, because you and I've had conversations about how classes and community and the importance of that in also being one of the spokes in the wheel for healing. And what's your vision or dream with that? I would love to hear a bit about how you want to bring that into your practice. I mean, you already are by your 9-week course, and the course, I guess the 19th coming up already, but what else is there that you're looking for with community, and just speak to that.
Another big vision of mine is starting to co-lead retreats where people get to actually experience, like, and 10-day retreats.
Yeah.
I'm so drawn to like a 10-day retreat where they get to experience, what can my body feel like if I wake up and do a Qigong practice every morning, meditate for 30 minutes, do a little breath work, have an amazingly delicious meal that's so good for me, healthy. Do some coaching work, where my blocks are, emotional blocks are, get a massage, go in some hot springs, have a little like restorative yoga at night, where they get to live body, mind, spirit healing for 10 days and co-lead that with a group of practitioners who all have our specialties, where we could bring that magic to people's lives, send them home with a cookbook and like
Brilliant.
a whole binder of breathwork exercises, because just because I like this style of breathwork doesn't mean it's right for everybody. Everyone gets to find what works for them. Just because I like this style of meditation doesn't mean it's right for everybody, right? So practice something, lots of opportunities to really experience this, so that people can really learn how to listen to their heart and their gut. Like this is the practice for me right now. This is what I get to go home and make part of my everyday life. That's a big dream. And then, get to do it here in Southwest Colorado, but maybe also travel around the world.
Cool. Yeah, I think you have a travel, you have travel in your blood. I just feel that when I'm with you.
I love to travel and experience other cultures. I was just having a conversation today with a friend discussing what's the difference between an expat, a tourist, and a traveler.
Right. Yeah.
And the travelers are the people who love to learn about the culture and really get to experience that country. And
they don't necessarily go to the tourist spots. They go to the smaller villages and the little mom and pop shop, or that's where I see you for sure. Well, I love that vision. I love that vision. And you brought up something when you were sharing your vision that I think is really important to point out. How a practice at one point in your life might not be the practice at another. And I think, and also how you may find one form of breath work really supportive for you, and I may find another. And so I just want to point that out, because for people listening, I think another piece that happens, and you speak so beautifully to this about really learning to listen, is, but what can happen is there's so much darn crazy stuff coming at us, right? Oh, do this diet, do this exercise, do this breath work, do that. So people almost are so far away from trusting their bodies and knowing what to do. They're just like, well, tell me. And so what I'm hearing in your vision is you're going to be teaching it so people get to experience it, feel it in their body, learn that, and then go home with tools. I mean, done and done. I am there for sure.
Maybe you'll be co-leading it with me.
Yeah, I may be co-leading it with you. I think that's something really beautiful in the vision. So as we close, Carla, first of all, thank you so much for, just being here today, but really more than anything, I've been lucky enough to be on your table. I've been lucky enough to be on walks with you as we're both navigating our lives and like, what's next? And and I'm grateful for that. So I want to ask you, what lights you up as a human? You can take your practitioner hat off, all your hats off, and what's that thing that really lights you up?
Just one?
You have the floor.
One of the first things that came to mind is connection.
Beautiful.
And being in connection with like-hearted people. I used to say like-minded, but now I say like-hearted.
Love
Right?
that.
Like-hearted people, getting to do the thing, go on the walks, have the deep conversations. I was just had a weekend with a bunch of girlfriends, and we basically had a big slumber party, and we cooked these amazing meals together and chatted and supported each other. And it was that just deep heart connection is so fulfilling.
I love heart light. Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it comes in a myriad of ways: camping trips, dance parties, sing-alongs, cooking meals together, walking our dogs. But
it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I have to say one thing. I was lucky enough to spend a weekend with you and share a room with you, and Carla brings her cupping with her. She'll just pull it out and cup you. Cupping is a Chinese medicine modality. Is that how you would describe it? Really amazing. So anyway, I just love that. You always have your tools with you, and you're on the ready to support people. So that's a beautiful gift. Beautiful gift.
I love the medicine. I do. It's amazing.
And that emanates out of you. You believe it and love it so much that adds an element of confidence and trust. That's the other thing I noticed when I was on your table. Boom, 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 boom. You just knew exactly, of course, you're a practitioner, but you knew exactly where those needles needed to go in me at those times. And I was really, I've been to different acupuncturists, and you just are like confident. So that's a beautiful gift as well. And I believe that's because you've felt I almost use the words magic. It's a little bit magical, but the healing power of Chinese medicine and the Qigong and the acupuncture. And now you're adding this beautiful element of community. And so I have just loved chatting in this way with you, because we haven't really, I've heard bits and pieces of your story, but just to hear it in this way, it's really an honor. And so I would love to be able to share your website and your how people find you. What is the best way for me to offer that to people who are looking?
Right. My website, it's in progress, because I'm teaching myself. I have a friend teaching me how to build it as we go, but it's carlamarietoth.com. So
Okay.
CarlaMarietoth.com. And I've just started doing Facebook a business page on Facebook, Carla Marie Toth L.Ac, licensed acupuncturist, and Instagram too. So I'm learning all these years later as a practitioner to start putting myself out there.
That's a big step. I'm with you on that one. But and then I'll put all those in the notes with this, and I'll share them with my members. And then the exciting class coming up on the 19th, 9 to 12, Qigong, breath work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then once you have after you get through the film festival, because I know that's another beautiful love of yours in our friendship. I always know this time of year you're busy. But I would love to know when the next 9-week course is, so that I can share that as well. And we'll just keep on visioning, and then we'll see everybody who's listening at our retreat that we have for 10 days because we said it out in the universe. So
yeah, I'm
declare
in.
it. Yeah. Well, Carla, thank you so much for spending the time with me. And I know that people who get to listen to this will be thrilled and take away some nuggets. I think one of the biggest things that resonated with me is respond from the heart. And that's such a beautiful just way to walk through the world. And so thank you for that reminder. And that's something I get to practice and I forget because it's easy to get up here. And so those simple words to live by. So thank you. That gets to be the takeaway for today. So okay, well, I'm going to stop the recording and then we'll chat here.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been fun.
Yeah, it's so fun.